All right, everybody. Miss Chris, Mr. Gagnon, ready to make some delicious, maybe, macaroni and cheese and candy? Okay, we should back up. Some people might not know what's going on. So here's the deal. As a district-wide music department, we recently tried to procure a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese with special candy flavor enhancer. We probably safely could say we had about 100 entries from the district. As of this filming, we unfortunately have not received a box of candy Kraft mac and cheese. So here's the thing. You know us, you know your music department. We're not people who take no for an answer when it comes to the important things. Music performance, enriching your lives, delicious culinary adventures. These are some of the pillars of life, and we're here to make sure they're strong. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be showing you some of our ideas, some of our takes on how to make your own candy, macaroni and cheese, a few different ways. So let's get started.
We are attempting 3 different kinds of mac and cheese. I'm going to walk you through the ingredients over here. So our first up, we've got our Kraft macaroni and cheese here. We're going to combine that with some jelly beans, some fun dip, and then we're going to add just a little bit of sprinkle, these holiday sprinkles, a little crunch, a little flavor. Over here, we're going to attempt a little bit of a fancy mac and cheese, if you will. So we've got some Annie's here. And we are going to melt down this delicious dark chocolate for our sauce. And we are going to top it with some white chocolate shavings. Delicious. Finally, we are going to attempt a mac and cheese that has a roux of butter and flour mixed with maple syrup, oh so Vermonty, a little bit of milk, and then we are going to dust it with cinnamon sugar.
What we have here is the first step of the prep process, Miss Chris. As you can see, getting the Kraft mac and cheese powder together in the bowl. We're gonna get our milk in there. And you can also see we've got a pot of some water going so that we can be ready to get those noodles heated up. Now, it's important, kids, to make sure that you've got all of your ingredients ready to go, because once we start melting down candy, things can get pretty sticky pretty fast. Mixing up that cheese.
Oh, perfect.
Now things go a little bit off script from the way usual mac and cheese works. So we've got our fun dip here. I don't even know what we're talking about in there. What's that look like?
There are 2 flavors in here. We've got this raz apple and then a cherry yum diddly dip. Cherry yum diddly dip. Diddly dip.
Diddly dip.
Yep.
Okay.
So that's good.
So are we talking like one in the mix and then one on top?
I'm thinking that there needs to be some inside the cheese dip itself, and then we'll get a little bit more on top afterwards.
What flavor are we mixing in? Do we go cherry in the sauce?
Gosh, the choices are so good. I'm not sure.
I almost want to see what the blue looks like in the sauce.
Okay, let's do that. Let's see. Okay, here we go. All right, half of this is going to be that stick, which we'll just put over here for now. Here comes that powder. Oh, that is blue. Look at that. Looks good. You know, this is set a little bit, so I think we're going to need to put just a little bit more liquid in here to really mix some stuff around.
Sure. Man, that looks pretty tasty.
Yep. You know, Okay. All right, there we go.
Yeah, that's looking good.
Yep. That cheese.
Okay, third time's charm. Wow, yeah, that looks good.
Looks great. Yep.
Can't wait to eat it.
Look at that color.
It looks like pesto or
Oh, nice.
no, it looks like guacamole.
Oh,
Fresh avocado. We know
better.
it's cheese and sugar, but it looks
like
that.
those. It's
Yeah.
also nice and springy, a very vibrant spring color.
Time to get those noodles softened up. Got some boiling water here. How long does it say to cook them up for?
8 to 10 minutes.
Noodles are in the water boiling. While that's going, what we're going to try and do is melt down one of our other key ingredients, Russell Stover pectin jelly beans, the premium bean. So what we're going to do for this is we're going to take some water. I'm not exactly sure how much we're going to use. Just going to kind of feel it out. We've got this pot here, this little guy on a medium-low. Get a little water in there. Get that heated up. I'm going to pop open these jelly beans here. Just going to start adding these in. I'm thinking probably just enough to cover the pot. Just going to work those in there, get them nestled down. What we're looking for here is that the bean dissolves a little bit in the water, kind of making a sucrose roux, if you will, without scorching the bottom of the pot. That's going to be a challenge for us. We're going to see how that develops.
It's really, really important that you keep an eye on all of your ingredients. Make sure that you are stirring that pasta frequently. Likewise, for our beans. Just give them a little stir every now and then, just to keep things moving, leaving no one behind.
You know, one of the toughest things about doing food video content is the two most important senses in cooking, taste and smell, are, two things that you, the viewer, can't experience. So I just want to tell you about the aroma that we're getting off these jelly beans. Think of like a diffuser. Some of you might have that in your home, or maybe even in a classroom with one. The aromatics, the oils, the natural scents are lifted up into the room. And that's what we're getting here. Wow, it is powerful. It's kind of like if you've ever had a diffuser with some essential oils, except it's high fructose corn syrup. Oh, yeah, that's the good stuff. What do you think about the color, the consistency we're getting? Is this what we're looking for?
I think this is what we're looking for. You know, things are really starting to melt. The colors are starting to meld together and just come together beautifully. It's this beautiful crimson reddish color.
And you can see the beans are just getting a little bit translucent as the food coloring seeps out into the boiling water.
We want that.
We want that. That's how we know the bean is getting close to being boiled down to basically just be a puddle of processed corn syrup.
Premium corn syrup. Seems like our noodles are done, so the next step is we gotta drain them, which means we have to head over to the colander. And there it is. So, here we go. Make sure that you scrape out any ones that might have wanted to stay in the pot. Straining. Ready for that sauce.
So doing some looking, we're thinking this jelly bean sauce, it's gonna be a little bit thin. We're discussing the ratio, and Miss Chris, what I'm thinking is that we put the rest of the beans in now, just to thicken it up a little bit.
Seems good.
So we're gonna carefully add those in. Now careful, this is boiling hot molten sugar. So you gotta be gentle.
There we go. Let those integrate.
Welcome to the party, little friends.
Our beans are just simmering down a little bit more. We thought this was a good time to sort of test the flavor palette of our cheese sauce. I'm gonna go ahead and do that.
Okay, run it
have
back.
to do it again!
Run it back.
That's horrible. It's cheese, but it's sour. I mean, it's great.
Alrighty, so come take a look at this with me. This is looking pretty nice. We've got the second batch of beans pretty much melted down. A few of the larger chunks still in there, but as you can see, this is getting thicker. It's getting that nice ruby kind of deep red color that I think we're looking for.
I think so. Looks wonderful.
Let's say it's what we're looking for because that's what we're getting.
Our premium bean sauce is looking pretty excellent, so we're gonna add a little bit of butter to bring out some of the flavors, melt along in there. Oh yeah, look at that, just melting right on in there.
Now I noticed you didn't use too much butter there.
You know, we kind of thought that we had enough flavors going on here, enough sauce, so we just added that butter just for a little extra flavor.
That's right, you gotta keep it healthy.
Gotta keep it healthy, yeah.
Keep it moving, keep it plasmatic here. And I think we're ready for the noodles.
Yep.
Add those in.
There we go. Okay, those are good. Excellent.
Oh, that looks really good.
Oh, wow. You know that sound? That really tells you the flavors are coming together even better than you would have expected. That crackle, essential. Keep things going. We've got our cheese sauce. We've got this low heat going, so it just keeps melding together. Here we go. Oh, man.
I love all these natural tones, the browns, the greens.
Oh, look how beautifully they're melding together.
Yeah, that's gonna be good to eat. That's gonna be really tasty.
Okay, wait. Oh yeah, look at that. That is looking absolutely gorgeous. That's even better than we could have hoped for. Don't you think, Mr. Gagnon? Wow.
Gorgeous, beautiful dish. Can't wait to eat it. We've let this mix together. That is just looking gorgeous. Nice earthy tone. The combination of the brown and the green. It's a lovely color.
That's where I left it too.
Okay, all right. Run back. Kind of brownish green color. That's what we're looking for. Not necessarily what you'd call vibrant. We're gonna move this over to our bowls. We're just gonna let that come right out there. Get a couple servings of that together. That is, yeah, that's
Perfect.
of course, we do have our red fun dip.
Which I think we talked about using for topping, right,
We are
Mr. Gagnon?
it's gonna add a little bit of pop to the top. So remember, kids, when you're adding your seasonings, never go direct into the bowl. It's palm into bowl. So we're gonna get that into our palm and just have fun with this. Just let it rain down. Look at that, a nice, generous dusting. Have fun with it. A nice, generous dusting
Yep.
of that.
Want to make sure you really get that flavor on there. Don't skimp out.
And then we'll just,
Has
just
a
let
nice
it
little
go.
color profile to it as well.
Mom's homemade mac and cheese. She's got the breadcrumbs on top, and you love that. Just a little bit of the crunch in with the noodles. So we're using some leftover holiday sprinkles. These are some mini Christmas trees. Again, into the palm. This is art, not a science. So you got to feel it out. Get that looking
Oh, wow.
like a little
Look
present.
at that.
That looks like something you want to eat. And we can hear the sort of chip sound. That tells us that the shell of sugar is forming on the top of the dish. So we do need to eat it quickly before... You can hear that little sound as it hits the shell of sugar. That tells us we need to eat this quickly, or else it's just basically going to be cement. So we need to go test this right now.
Here we go. We are going to test out our first macaroni and cheese with the premium beans, the wonderful cheese sauce, the fun dip, and the sprinkles.
Oh yeah. Okay. Let's get that powder in there a little bit.
Still nice and warm.
A couple sprinkles. I like the crunch.
It didn't solidify as much. That's really good. Here we go.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
You know, it's not as horrible as I was predicting.
The crunch of the sprinkles is definitely helping a lot here.
Very much like pasta with a very interesting jelly element. A jellement, if you will.
You are going to want to be someone who has a sweet tooth for this dish.
One more? I think one more.
Top 3 sweetest things I've ever eaten, maybe?
Yeah, that That's definitely candy mac and cheese right there.
I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a bowl of sugar. With some noodles haphazardly thrown in. What are we doing?
Great. Uh-huh.
All right, Miss Chris. So we just tasted our first mac and cheese concoction, the Kraft, with the deluxe jelly beans, the Fun Dip, and
sprinkles.
some sprinkles. What are your takeaways? What are your thoughts?
You know, my initial thoughts are that it was not as horrible as I thought it was going to be taste-wise. Another interesting thing was the after effects of eating this mac and cheese. Just a few minutes later, I could feel that sugar in my teeth, in my head. So if you just want a straight sugar high in under like 2 minutes, this is definitely the mac and cheese for you.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that. I'm probably going to wake up tomorrow with a new cavity. It slaps hard. The sugar factor is very real.
Slaps different.
You know, interesting thing we both mentioned is that the cheese was not really something that we tasted much. It just sort of disappeared into the flavor profile of about a metric ton of high fructose corn syrup. So an interesting masking of the dairy flavors there. It really eats.
The sugar really prevailed.
Yeah, it eats like a dessert.
Almost like a jelly-like, fruit-like rice pudding.
A little bit wormy, maybe.
Chewy.
Yeah,
surprisingly chewy.
Would you eat it again?
I think that this is a one and done for me. I think I have learned and understand what I got myself into. Don't think I would eat it again. However, I am curious about different candy profiles and what those flavors would be like using different kinds of candy.
Now, that is an interesting question. What else can we do using this jumping off point? Let's start in with our second dish now. This is going to be our upscale take on the mac and cheese. So we're going to be using some high-end products and working with some more complex flavor profiles to see if we can get a little bit of a different spin on what I would say is quickly becoming an instant classic. Up next, we are using some Annie's white cheddar cheese shells. We've got some 78% cocoa dark chocolate. And we've got these white chocolate baking chips. This is eventually going to need to be shaved down on the microplane as a garnish. So we had the suggestion on the set to melt some of these down in the microwave and then chill them, let them solidify into a single brick to make them more workable. So we're going to start with that first. Oops, making a little bit of a mess. Don't mind me, everyone. What's a few pieces of chocolate among friends? Into the microwave it goes, and it doesn't take long. Let's take a look. Oh my, look at that. We're just gonna bring that all down to the bottom here. We're gonna let that cool. You don't like the fork? That's tasty. Here we go, this is headed into the freezer now, and we're just gonna hope that this little lump of goodness freezes up for us here. Don't go anywhere, little buddy.
Next, we are going to work on melting our beautiful 78% dark chocolate cocoa. To do this, we're going to use a double boiler system. You can see there's just a little bit of water in there. That's going to provide the heat. We're going to put this bowl on top. That's where our beautiful chocolate is going to live. We're going to crack her open. All right. I love just how these are foil wrapped. So nice. Beautiful. Look at that. Now, we're not going to just put this whole bar in here like that. We want to get an even melt, so we're going to go ahead and break it up. Put them right in the bowl. It is almost warm enough to even start the melting process. Here we go. Excellent. And they got our heat on low, and that is just going to slowly melt our chocolate, which is going to be the basis of our sauce for this mac and cheese.
Easy part of the process. We've been over this before. Mac and cheese into the water. Just going to go ahead and put those little shells in there. Beauty.
It is looking really good in Chocolateville. Everything is wonderfully melted. Beautiful consistency. We're going to add a little bit of butter here. There we go. Who doesn't love butter? We're gonna let that melt just a little bit. Really get to know the flavor of the dark chocolate. And then as soon as this is melted, we are going to add in the cheese powder. Oh yeah, that cheese, delicious. Oh, there it goes. Just gonna mix in a little bit of a time. We don't want any clumping. See that? See how it's staying nice and smooth? Okay, let's add a little bit more. You know, I could just eat this by itself. Okay, excellent. Man, that is really coming together so nicely. And you know, we still got the heat on a little bit low because we want this to remain soft. We don't want the chocolate to settle back in and harden.
Smooth, creamy dark chocolate with, I've got to say, probably one of my favorite powdered cheese products.
Oh, look at that. Getting a nice thick and creamy consistency. This is going to go so well with those shells. The shells are just going to trap this sauce into each little bite. Every little morsel is going to be like a little chocolate cheese pocket.
Let's take a peek at how our chocolate is doing in the freezer. We'll see if it needs any more time. Fairly hard, but a little bit of give. We're going to give it a few more minutes and then come back to it, I think.
All right, while that white chocolate is firming up for a couple more minutes, we thought we'd take a moment to just test out our chocolate cheese sauce. Really getting the smell now. Not a lot of cheese, but that chocolate is really present. Here we go. Interesting. Definitely more of the cheese flavor than I was expecting, with the chocolate smell being so fragrant. The bitterness of that chocolate is really coming through though really well. Wow. Both cheese and chocolate right there.
So it's been a few minutes. We're going to check back in with our white chocolate here in the freezer. Oh yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let's see. Yeah, I like that sound. I'm a little bit nervous about this part. We need to get off the cutting board and it's pretty frozen. So let's just kind of see what happens here. You think I just cut it?
Yeah,
Just like
yeah.
that? It's very stuck. I should probably saw away from my hands.
Smart. Safety is
Safety
key in
is
the
good.
kitchen.
Well,
That's a chunk.
That's basically what we started with. What if I get more like a saw kind of situation? Well, this isn't working. So we'll cut away from this and come back when we figure something out. Okay, we think we figured out the white chocolate situation, so we are going to assemble. We've got our chocolate here. That is cheese and chocolate. Bring that in. Let's integrate. Wow. Get it nice and close on that. That is pretty decadent. Time for the piece de resistance. We are going to microplane some white chocolate. We're just going to get inventive here and try this method. Oh yeah, it's like a little winter scene. Beautiful white chocolate flakes coming down. Wow, call a snow day.
All right, time to dish up this goodness. Oh yeah, get some of that pasta with the sauce. Oh, looks great. We are just going to finish both of these off with a little bit more of that white chocolate snow. Get a little bit more. Oh, beauty. Just gorgeous. Oh, and then we get to dig in.
Okay, dish number 2. Let's see what we're working with here.
Gonna get a bite with all that goodness in there.
Ooh, Choco Explosion.
Here we go. Wow.
Whoa,
That's pretty good.
that's bold.
You can taste the chocolate,
With the cheese.
but it's not overpowering. The chocolate is definitely still the star of the show here.
There's some big flavors in here. The dark chocolate, definitely pretty bitter.
I'm going back in for another bite on this one, I think.
Unlike anything I've ever tasted before, really.
This is like dessert.
I gotta say, the white chocolate, that's bringing the sweetness.
Wow.
Yeah,
Surprising.
not for the faint of heart.
The flavors.
You need a sophisticated palate to appreciate this.
It's like I've just landed on a chocolate pillow with a cheese blanket. And I'm going to take the best nap of my life. Okay, Mr. Gagnon, we have just finished our second mac and cheese of the night. What are your overall takes on the dish?
Boy, you know, Miss Chris, I wasn't sure what to expect with this one. I was excited that we were using some real quality ingredients here. So it definitely tasted a little bit less chemically than the first batch we made. I think if we did it again, I think we both agreed maybe some milk chocolate instead of the dark chocolate. It was a little bit too bitter. But I really did like what the white chocolate was bringing to the party. I do think it's ruined that cutting board forever. But that's a small price to pay for that white chocolate.
Worth it.
What are you thinking?
You know, I was really surprised by this. I did not expect it to be as good as it was, and I was really surprised at how much I could taste both the chocolate and the cheese, and how they complemented each other. Also, I would say that this is decadent. It is rich. So you are not looking to sit down and have an entire bowl of this bad boy. Would I make it again? Yeah, probably, but with the milk chocolate.
The time has come. It's dish number 3, bringing in our maple syrup into the mix. Let's see what happens.
Okay, first step here is we are going to make a roux. So to do that, we need our butter, we need our flour, and we're gonna have a little bit of milk here too. We are gonna melt this butter. Okay. Oh boy. Too hot. Took it off that heat there just for a second because it was pretty warm. But you know, we're actually getting a nice little side effect here where it smells a little bit nutty. Almost like browning butter, if you've ever done that before. I actually think that's going to be a nice flavor addition. It is time for the flour. This is going to mix in with our butter, and you want to stir that right around. Keep stirring, keep stirring. Our butter and flour have started to come together here. Turn up our heat just a little bit, and now it's time to add some milk into this. So we are going to want to keep stirring and add a little bit of milk at a time. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at that go. Get nice and thick. We want that. You want to end up with sort of a creamy pastiness. Definitely want enough liquid in there, but we don't want it to be soup. Maybe a little bit more. Love milk. It's good for you. I think our next steps are going to be to head to Maple Syrup Town.
It's time to go to syrup country here. So we're going to start with just a tablespoon of this. We don't want to get too sweet too fast, so we're going to syrup to taste. A little bit of that in there, work that in. Now, this real maple syrup, this is potent stuff. You got to be careful with this. Too much, and you're going to be hurting. You're going to be heading to the dentist.
Sweet.
Not sweet enough.
Okay.
Let's go just one more tablespoon. Again, you can always put more in. You can't take it out. Let's work this in and give it a taste. Get classy. That's nice.
We are loving how this is tasting right now. We are thinking that maybe we want this just to be a little bit thinner. It's thickened up quite a bit, so we're going to just go ahead and add a little bit more milk in here. Stir that around. That's nice.
Assembly time. We're going to bring our remaining noodles over here. Just get some tasting portions together. And then we are going to generously apply some sauce. And just
look at that.
Look at
Beautiful.
that. That's good. That's good looking right there. Looks like an Alfredo. It actually sort of has the texture of an Alfredo too, but
Definitely.
we know it's actually going to taste like a waffle.
For the last little bit, we are going to add some cinnamon sugar just dusted on top. Make sure that cinnamon sugar is really all blended together nicely. And then we are just going to sprinkle this lightly. Look at that. That's gorgeous.
All right, moment of truth. Let's see what we made here.
Get a little bit of everything. Some of that sauce, cinnamon sugar.
Mix it all around. And
Here we go.
you know, I gotta tell you, it's pretty good.
Honestly, that is good.
Think like if you had tiny pockets of waffles.
Not even like just tolerable. That is good. I would eat this whole bowl.
Yeah, the maple coming through. It's not super sweet. Cinnamon sugar, definitely a star of the show.
Who knew?
Yeah, I'll go in for another bite of that.
I think we successfully made a mac and cheese sweetness candy based that is actually delicious to eat and is wonderful. And not pink.
That's some breakfast pasta right there. Wow, okay, everybody, we did it. 3 dishes. This third one, probably most unique out of the 3. Miss Chris, what are you thinking having eaten this dish?
You know, I think this is hands down the best one that we ate tonight. It was so surprising. I loved that we were able to make a roux, that traditional sauce base for the mac and cheese, and that maple syrup addition, so good. I would hands down eat like an entire bowl of this for breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
That's a strong endorsement. I agree. You know, the Vermonter in me really appreciates that maple flavor. The cinnamon, always a welcome addition to any maple party. Truly a unique texture and flavor combination. You know, it ate kind of like a waffle or a pancake flavor profile-wise, but you know, it's still at its core, it's a pasta dish. Well, we hope that you've enjoyed our adventures into candy mac and cheese making. The fun doesn't have to stop here with us. You certainly could take your spin on a candy mac and cheese recipe and give it a try. Now, viewers at home, we do need to caution you, this is a pretty risky culinary adventure. So pots, pans, cutting boards can easily be ruined. You need to do this with an adult present and helping you out. There's definitely some moments in here where, you know, I'm thinking in particular of the boiling cauldron of molten jelly beans. Things could have gone south really fast.
Absolutely.
So make sure that that you are supervised and you've got a safety adult on hand. But that said, we had a lot of fun.
We did. It was so much fun. We laughed and ate some delicious mac and cheese and just had a great time.
If you have an idea, we would love to either hear what your recipe would be, or if you're feeling extra ambitious, we would love to see what you cook up at home. So, with that, folks, thanks for watching us in the kitchen. This is Mr. Gagnon and Miss Chris wishing you happy cooking.